millimeter. You got 4 individuals.
You can make it here in America if you're willing to try.
I'm with you, the American people.
A new world order. A world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations.
Now we are in danger of being swamped by Muslims.
G'day and welcome to the Cunspiracy podcast. My name's Josh Wade, and on this week's episode, I'm speaking to Brisbane DJs MASHD and Kutcher. I caught up with the boys before they went and played here on the Gold Coast in their hotel room. We had a chat over a few beers. We talked about Scientology. Well, that was one subject. We delved down the whole of DJing and social media and where that's all going. I spoke to them about their career and how that's all progressed over time and where they want to take it. It's an excellent episode if you're a kid out there, a teenager, whatever, that wants to get into DJing and wants to figure out where to start, where the beginning points are. These boys will give you a bunch of information and a bunch of advice on where to go. It was a really awesome chat. I love chatting to the boys. If you want to support us on Patreon, please do. If you do support us, we have a private Facebook group where I do a live stream every week, get to chat to you guys. You can ask me questions. You can contact me. Feel free to join us. Want to thank everyone that's been sponsoring us so far. We're building up the page. Soon we're going to be able to get mics, a studio and everything. I'm really looking forward to it. If you have a podcast that you want us to cover or a guest that you want to cover, or if you just want to get in contact with me, go follow me on Instagram at Josh Wade with 2 E's. I'd love to fucking see you over there. Or Snapchat, same thing, or Twitter. All the links will be down there. But definitely get over there and say g'day to me there if you haven't already. This is my episode with MASHD and Kutcher, and enjoy the podcast. G'day and welcome to the Cunspiracy Podcast. My name's Josh Wade. Today my guest, MASHD and Kutcher. Welcome to the show.
Hello.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us.
No, thanks for having me. You're we're in your hotel room. We've got a fucking studio audience.
We do. G'day, lads. Hey, squad.
Yeah. So you do have a young fan base.
Very young in the mind.
Fucking 15-year-olds.
Very young in the mind.
Private school girls. Yeah.
Private school boys, I think, if that's a problem.
Now, how's your day been? You're performing on the Gold Coast tonight, yeah?
We are.
Yep.
We have a show at Platinum tonight, which is our home on the Gold Coast.
Yep.
It's fun.
How long you been DJing for? You DJs, obviously, if anyone didn't know, but...
We kind of did things a bit backwards. So we started as musicians playing instruments, and then the DJing thing kind of came later in the piece, I'd say.
Yep. How did that evolve into that?
I think we both had probably different journeys before we met
Distinctly.
each other.
Right.
Do you want to tell yours?
Yeah.
Well, I was a drummer in primary school, as you do. Is like, you know, if you stick it out for a year, you can get a drum kit type thing. So I did, and Mother Dearest got me a drum kit. And, and then went through high school and did drums and arrogantly ignored everything that Matt learned, actually. And thankfully met someone who did learn what he learned, which is...
Well, I started on piano, and I always did it and enjoyed it, but I kind of got the bug for technology and therefore DJing.
Yep.
And kind of, went the electronic direction with it.
Right.
And started DJing when I finished school, and it was fun.
So how did those worlds collide? When did you guys meet? Because you would have met first before you fucking, let's be a
So I went,
team.
met through a mutual friend. He was a couple of years older than me in high school. And he was like, hey, I've got this, DJ thing, do you want to come drum? And then he also said to Matt at the same time, hey, I've got this drummer. Do you want to come do a DJ thing? And we did that. And then he went and did his own thing. And then I guess we sort of thought, all right, well, hell, you play piano, I play drums. We'll give it a crack.
That's it. So essentially, MASHD and Kutcher began as a trio. There were 3 of us.
Right.
And then, as Adam
Was he
said...
N? That was a bad joke.
I think
that's all I've got to offer, everybody. Thank you very much. Good night.
You were the N for
It
a
was
bit.
waiting for the end. I was the end for a bit, actually.
Yeah.
Really? Oh, so
I was
you...
Earn. MASHD Earn.
So you weren't originally, like, you were the third tier.
Yeah, I was the third
We
tier,
started
just
as a
like
trio, I guess, yeah.
on drums whenever maybe it would fit or sound okay.
Keep in mind, obviously, like not every nightclub can fit up full drum
Not
kit in
many
it.
at all.
Right, yeah.
So it was a case of 2 DJs and a drummer, and then it became more of a trio. And then, as Adam said, Joshy's gone and done his own thing as his own artist and act. And we've combined, and Adam, to his credit, learned to DJ very quickly, which was cool. And
Sort of.
I'd probably say most nights you could probably mix better than I could. I'm a bit slack.
We won't go down why that's the case, but
Who's better
maybe
when
he
they're-
could be right.
Who's better when they're drunk?
Oh, definitely him.
So
Absolutely.
who
I'm
can
so
hold
sloppy.
it together?
You reckon?
Because
Nah,
normally
you know what it is. You're not better. You just like you pull it off better, whereas I'm just sloppy and shit.
fuck. Are we talking
know
about
what I mean?
DJing or what's? I don't know. I'm slightly turned on right now, actually.
If I get up behind the decks and we've already been off stage for like 2 hours, I'm not getting anything together properly.
Right.
I think.
Whereas Matt can sort of like.
I'll compare DJing to playing pool in the sense that you think you're better when you're drunk, but
Yeah.
you probably
Right,
you
okay.
really need. To.
I do get better at pool when I drink though.
Okay, you're on your own.
Yeah,
now.
some people do.
Opposite with DJing.
I couldn't play. I went bowling last night. Can't bowl for shit. And last night I just had a fucking ripper night.
Any
so-
strikes?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
like multiple strikes.
Oh,
I thought,
yes.
fuck, I'm getting drunk all the time. And
That's
then
the way to
again-
do it.
Yeah, well, I mean,
That's one of the things I
Bowling.
don't tell you.
and if it was fucking something like being talented at something worthwhile, then maybe it'd be a bit better. But do you ever
Did
hidden
you bowl
talent?
next to a guy that had a like a wrist, like an arm or a glove thing, like he was serious?
No, I have
Had his
seen
own
them.
ball or anything.
That's
like,
fucking weird.
and they put spin on every shot, and it's just like a strike every time,
Nah.
almost like him.
Who gets to that level? How
Yeah,
do you
gotta
get to
be
that level?
Dedicated.
That's true.
Well, anyway,
Bowling's not great.
Bowling, eh?
that's my fault.
Bowling,
that,
eh?
that whole sentence.
We really went off there, didn't we? We just
Yeah.
we went.
Yeah,
So DJing.
yeah, that.
Yeah. So when would you say that you guys officially, started together? I guess.
I think we met in, was it 2013?
Yeah, it was about 2013.
Yep.
We've been playing shows together now since then. We've played about 500 odd shows. Most have been in Australia, some through Asia, through America, and a bit of Europe as well. So, yeah, I would say we've been doing it professionally as an act for, a good 3 years.
Yep. And you've had like a few viral videos as well. Like things have gone, not just like viral, but like fucking bizarre, like fucking big numbers that you probably just can't comprehend. When was the first? When did you realise that was going to be an asset to your business as MASHD and Kutcher?
I think for me personally, the marketing side of stuff was had a mate who was into building Facebook pages and audiences and things, and he gave us a bit of advice in 2013, 2014, which was, to if you're looking to build a big Facebook audience, don't build it by sharing other people's content, create your own. And so that kind of got us brainstorming and was like, okay, what can we do? What can we create?
Yep.
And it was just, there was no real sort of plan to it. It's just, it's like anything, you try something, see how the audience receives it. And, in the case of what we've been doing, we have found a thing they like and we've stuck with it, and it's been good.
So you've had like videos shared on, taken by like Unilad, and they've posted up and stuff like that. So that obviously helps spread to a whole new audience again, because they're just an aggregator. Did you look at those sorts of pages while you were making content, going, what sort of shit do these sorts of pages post? Because unfortunately, like, I hate them, but at the same time you need them to grow on Facebook, because they're the ones that are going to get you out to such a mass market.
I think you need to be very aware of the type of audience you're attracting. And I think we noticed when we started growing from, 200,000 to 300,000 to 500,000, that doesn't necessarily reflect with bums on seats, because just because we have 1 million followers on Facebook doesn't mean that our show is going to have 5,000 tickets, because you then start to attract an audience for general entertainment as opposed to specifically what you do. So I think it's a case of being aware of that, being very conscious of that, and once you do start to build a following, to then culture them to exactly what it is that you do.
Yeah.
So over the last 12, 18 months, we've posted a lot less, I would say, attention-seeking viral videos, and a lot more footage of our live shows, a lot more footage of music, and really just saying, hey, we respect that you're there as an audience, but, we're going to show you what we want to do. Whether you stay with us or not, that's up to you. The way that I've always kind of looked at it is to put it in a metaphor. Imagine standing on a soapbox and screaming as loud as you can to get everyone's attention, and then you get 500 people stand in front of you, and then you go, hey, okay, well, I'm a musician, this is what I do. I mean, maybe 100 might be left, the other 400 might walk off, but then you've retained that 100 that are there to see what you want to do. So it's really important, because otherwise you end up with a huge following. It doesn't really mean anything. It's just a number.
No.
You know?
And I've thought this a lot. What you just said is exactly what I'm going through and what I've been through before, where you make shit, and I've said things in videos where I've gone, that's going to be so outrageous that people are going to watch it. And even if some people think I'm a fuckwit for it, there's going to be people that follow that shit. But I can use that exposure to then, you know, thrust, whether it be stand-up comedy or whatever else that you actually do. So it's interesting that you also view it the same way. Like it is a real serious marketing, I think, is such a big thing. Because like you said, you might have 5 million likes, but if you're someone that's just posting other people's shit all the time and whatnot, no one's going to pay to come and see you. So how do you win over, how do you think you guys win over people to go, let's take the time to go to see one of their shows?
Like I said, for us, it's a case of once we started to grow as an audience, then culturing them to show them what we actually do. So that meant instead of posting, you know, collab videos and posting as much sort of attention-seeking content, it was a case of posting more live show footage and more footage of us in the studio, more footage of us doing what we do. You know, so then they can make the choice. And we noticed it firsthand, because as our following grew online, you know, our shows grew and our fees grew, but like not necessarily the attendance at the shows grew a lot. It did a bit, but it didn't grow in the same ratio as to what the likes grew.
No way, so they never do.
It's very plain to see, you know, and because we've been through that firsthand, we learn from it. And like I said, now it's more about saying, okay, well, we acknowledge that we have built a following of some sort. So now it's about, you know, quality and just kind of, you know, making sure that the content we give them is what we want to be known for, so that we're represented in the right way.
Now, you're on the road a lot. You're obviously doing, like, I got to hand it to DJs, because you, like, there's no, like, festival season or anything. Like, it's just go, go, go constantly. So you're always with each other. What do you, Matt, what do you like to, Adam, sorry. What do you like to do when you're at home? Like, what's your hobbies other than doing what you're doing?
I think I speak for both of us when we try to do as little as possible.
Yeah.
Sounds boring, but it's
no.
Yeah, you kind of like, you spend your days off sort of doing very little, I guess. I just bought Crash Bandicoot, so that's a thing. It's incredibly difficult.
How is that going? It is difficult.
It's incredibly difficult and frustrating, and I worry that the levels of frustration I've had on the first island, like what's it going to be like when I get towards the end of the game? Like it's I don't know, it's worrying. But spare time.
So that's your major concerns in life when you're not. When
spare
you're not
times like
right.
Crash.
There's a war in Afghanistan,
my God,
but that's
please
okay.
finish this level. I can't get through it.
That's good though.
Can't time my jumps. You know, you just.
So you like playing just when you're home, just relaxing.
Yeah,
watching.
little as possible. I think.
Yep.
We both work on music in our spare time. Yeah, we do as little as possible, and
seeing our friends and family.
Yeah, get haircuts, shit like that. Although I need one.
Breathe, pee, shit.
Yeah,
just be humans.
Buy frozen meals, cook food.
That's good. So, where is this going now? So you've reached a point where you're obviously, you know, you met, you were from two different worlds. The worlds have collided. Now you've got a successful DJ act plus like a personas that you guys are doing with MASHD and Kutcher. It's a personal brand now for you guys. Where does that go from there? Where do you want to be? Like, where are you projecting to?
Millions of dollars. We can buy all of the blokes in the room here a car and a Lamborghini each. Meow. Yeah. Nah, we just want to. I think we'd like to go a little bit further at least. Get some ticketed shows going. Get some people coming to spend their night with us that are only there to spend their night with us. Does that make sense?
It's kind of actually like what we were saying about the social media stuff. Now it's about quality. So like as a music act, it's about, you know, being thoughtful about what music we want to make, you know, making some pop music, making some music that's more meaningful to us, and actually building a following of people that come to shows. You know, and that might start at 200-300 people a show, and you know, we hope that moves to 10,000 people a show, but it's now about quality and about, you know, making sure that what we do is what we believe in.
Yeah, I suppose with comedy, it's always been ticketed events for us, so it's never guarantees.
Yeah.
So and normally the shows are around $25, $30, but you know that it's never going to be just one person that comes by himself to come with a mate. So that's $60, and they got to get there and drinks and everything. So you're really like trying to sell someone on a
Totally.
And it might
You got to
be
sell someone a
Fridays.
whole night,
A
a
whole
lot more
night.
than 20 bucks.
So that's
really.
where DJ world is kind of weird because as a DJ,
But you still make good money out of guarantees, though. That's the thing, and you pay, like they pay for your hotels and everything
For
like
sure.
that. So
Well, yeah,
there's
absolutely.
a different. Like I would much rather take your package.
well, here's the thing though,
Way
as
different.
a musician, essentially as a musician, the path is the same as what yours is in that you're selling your ticketed shows to your audience. In in DJ world, what's weird about it is that you start playing in nightclubs where you're the guest. So the club's already full of people. So there's 70% of the club's not necessarily there to see you. So it's important to be mindful of that and not get caught up in any sort of fake perception that there's 1,000 people there to see you, because they're not.
It's
Okay.
Fugazi.
It's
Fugazi,
interesting.
Fugazi.
Can I ask this? Because this is what I like didn't understand when I'd met like Will and Timmy and all these people. They would play in front of like looked like 100,000 people, like ridiculous people at these festivals, and I'm sure you've done massive crowds where you just go, holy fuck, this is ridiculous. How is that? How do you do that and then get off stage and then know like, oh, maybe tomorrow night you're going to fucking Toukley or like some random place on the Central Coast?
Honestly,
Does that
honestly, it's a serious internal and external battle.
that
we
would
have
fuck with my
regularly.
ego majorly, because I run on like, I've got to be doing really good things and I only want to be doing good things.
Yeah.
And even though I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but that's got to be like so much
I think it's
energy,
just,
and then
yeah, but it's no different to like playing at like a massive festival, for example, but you play in the afternoon and you're back in your hotel and it's 9 p.m. on a Saturday and you're just supposed to be getting ready and go to bed. And you've just come to a hotel after playing to X amount of people. Like, it's a adjustment that you just sort of cop week in, week out, and then that's just what you do.
Yeah, it's very much a world of hot and colds. Whether you're in front of a big crowd, then you're by yourself in a hotel. Whether you're in one country one day or you're home the next, or whether you're playing to 10,000 people one day or 100 the next. I think it's just about being adaptable to being thrown around everywhere.
Well, like I said, Toukley, that was a very interesting town to use
well,
as
I
an
don't
example.
know. The thing is, I've been to Toukley like maybe 4 or 5 times. Like I've been there quite a bit because I'll go there just to test my new material, because it's just like a random town. I'm like, fuck Toukley, whatever. People fucking rock up, so I'm like, I don't care, mate. As long as people come out and I have a good night.
I was going to say,
don't
they
give
get
a fuck
around
where
you
I
in
am.
Toukley.
How great is it? Like, this was the other thing. Like, you've obviously seen most of Australia now.
I'd say so.
Yeah. Well, most major parts plus most major regional parts for sure.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool when you think about it, because not many people get that opportunity to just travel.
Yeah. The travel thing gets lost on you sometimes, but every now and then you sort of try and remind yourself, you're like, hey, actually, we're visiting all these places.
It's an interesting give and take too, because you go to a super regional place and they really appreciate you, because they don't get many options in terms of entertainment. So that's cool. But then also, like, you learn a bit about them, and I think we've learned a lot about Australia.
Regional towns get around it.
How I'm from Townsville. I know you went up there recently.
Yeah.
What was that
That's
like? Because
mental.
they never
Townsville
get
was actually really good.
they never
really, really
get
good.
like any really big acts, because there never was really a club that
I'll
does it.
go on a
but now-
limb and say we played Flinders HQ. I would say we had devout fans who were aware of us, aware of what we do.
Yeah, of course.
They were energetic. They were into it. They were grateful. They were just there to,
Yeah.
And often you see that obviously with regional as opposed to, a bigger city. You've got options. People go, oh, I can go to this club or that one, but somewhere like Townsville, you come out and you have a good time, and
Yeah, there's only 1 or 2, and the other club probably plays a total different, like it's a total different thing, or it's not even about the DJ, whereas that's a club. Anyway, that's good.
good.
Have you? Where's sort of a place that you go to where you go every night just seems to be a
Lit.
loose
Melbourne.
time?
I'm going to go on a limb and probably say that the hometown shows for us are probably up there.
Yeah,
What's best,
Brisbane, I don't think has ever not been pretty full on.
So obviously you play different clubs in different cities. For us, the Met is kind of our home base in Brisbane.
Yep.
And we can't. It's nice. The boys rock up.
Yeah, the boys.
The squad.
Merthyr Dabs in the green room.
Audience tonight.
Plays FIFA.
It's good. Like it's nice to be able to play in your own hometown and have support there, and yeah, it's a nice feeling.
Is that nice? Where was the first place that you played together in Brisbane? Like, was it straight to the Met or?
Nah,
I think we've done the rounds. We've played we played Eaton's Hill. We've played the Racehorse in Ipswich.
Eaton's Hill's not too bad.
The first one was the one at Thingo, wasn't it?
We played Gilhooly's.
Yes.
I reckon we've played a lot of different venues in Brisbane in the last few years.
Yeah.
But you know, the Met's where we've wound up as our home.
And that's obviously probably something off your bucket list, like because that's a good venue.
Totally,
that's where the
definitely.
big acts play. So,
yeah.
was that a big thing? Your first show at the Met? Do you remember that? Was that?
Which one was our first one?
Obviously didn't mean too much.
We played our we did a little special thing for our we did a special thing for our 400th show. It happened to be the one at the Met, so we got a full camera crew in, and we got these 6 camera guys to cover the whole show.
Right.
So we brought a live drum kit and everything, and we kind of made it a thing. So as you can see, the booze has arrived.
The booze has just arrived.
Oh, wrong door there, mate.
And the studio audience have just left the building. No one,
Studio
there's
wants,
one left.
Studio wants audience is following the fireball.
So
Close it. It should open.
Feels like my subscribers
close
just
it.
leaving by the hundreds. I didn't want 1,000 fucking minutes of fucking talking shit.
Close the other one.
Too much talk.
I wanted him to say cunt.
There we go.
I don't know why
And we're back.
my fans
Joshy.
are South Americans. G'day, South
back.
American.
Here we
are. Back.
South.
How are you, mate?
I'm good. I don't know. I was talking about South Americans there for a second.
I like this as a video podcast and not an audio one.
Yeah, I think
Pressure's
it just
on.
adds a little bit. Well,
Nice.
My reason for that is most people these days, I mean, you can listen to it on iTunes if you want to and stuff like that. But
Cheeky plug.
some people like, well, you guys have got a podcast as well, so you may as well plug it now.
Shit.
Another cheeky plug.
Go and look at it. Please, now. But the video stuff, sometimes I like sitting there and watching that as well. It's nice to have a visual element. I think most people our age are visual people. We like video as well.
When you're the big Les guys, I was like, I have to watch this because I have to see them do the voices in real life as people.
Here's a question for you. I was discussing this with a mate yesterday. Do you think, I'm not going to say dead, but do you think the photography has kind of come and gone? Because it's almost like, especially in Facebook land, people don't really respond much to photos, and it's all about video. Do you think, because we're discussing maybe that's because technology has advanced to the point where people want more information and you can only say so much with an image, whereas with a video you can
give it all out.
give a lot
Yeah,
more.
it's so much easier to, before, like in the 1980s, it would cost $10,000 to get a home video camera.
Yeah.
Now it's on your phone. Like even a shit phone's got a good camera.
Yeah.
You can probably explain so much more. Maybe I think it has something to do with the algorithm as well. I don't think Facebook understands no one's uploading photos to Facebook anymore, really. That's why they bought Instagram.
Correct.
That's where people are posting their photos and shit like that. So Facebook's relying heavily on pages like Unilad and shit like that because that's what's keeping people on the fucking website for longer, watching stupid fucking videos.
Yeah.
And we're the reason why Facebook, we're the fucking cancer-causing cunts, right? And I love it, but it's a double-edged sword because I'll sit there and I'll just scroll. I was saying this to someone the other day. Do you do this? Like when you wake up in the morning, do you check your phone? Is that the first thing you do? Or is that, okay. When you go on Facebook, do you sort of like, not every time, but you'll make a concerted effort to go, I want to get down to where I last remember sort of vaguely seeing, oh, okay, I've seen that. Now
I know exactly what you're talking about. Personally, I don't do it, but I do know exactly what you're talking about. I do it with Instagram. If you check Instagram, if you're on Instagram, close it, do something else, come back within like 10 minutes, that's just automatically what's going to happen because you get to a photo and you're like, oh, yep, already been there. Yeah, I don't know. I'm certainly cautious of it.
I go through a checklist. So if I wake up in the morning, the first thing I'll do, if there's a missed call, I'll see who that is. I'll go to messages first, like iMessages, and then I'll go email. And then after email, then I'll get to Facebook. But I generally don't scroll back. I tend to look at what's happening right then and there.
Yeah.
It's like if it's important enough,
Yeah.
you won't have to scroll too
I
far.
know this sounds a bit
That's
like,
the idea.
It sounds a bit old school, but I also do out of habit each morning jump on like news.com.
I
just to
knew
see
you were
what
going to
the news
say
is.
it, you fucking cunt.
Just like to,
Damn it.
I just like to see if there's anything if we got bombed like overnight.
Yeah, you know what I do for that? I just check the Twitter moments thing because it's a similar sort of thing. But here's one for you. I was listening to a Julian Assange speak about this.
Oh, yes.
Facebook AI. So like basically how the algorithm, like, you know, the trending thing on the side there. What is on mine is different to you, which is different to you. So they're curating news for people individually through an algorithm, through artificial intelligence, so they know what sort of articles we click on. So that's why I'm really wary now about my beliefs, because I'm like, maybe I'm just reading shit that, like, I'm being sold shit because they know that that's what I
same as every other
believe.
method of
Because you see like people that are like, you know, crazy on the right with Trump, like they fucking all love Trump, or they're on the total other end of the spectrum. And there's evidence to back up every sort of fucking argument in the world. So that's going to be a worry, because apparently that's where we're going to start to get our news from, Twitter and Facebook. We already are. That's where I know something's happened if it's on Facebook.
Yeah. I think for me personally, I vaguely remember being younger, and I was living at home with my parents, and I think it was about 9 or 10 p.m. and I was asleep early, and I'd woken up because mum and dad had said, like, I'll come and look what's on TV. And that was
9/11.
the 9/11. Yeah. And so I was just like, I think out of habit, just from that, each morning I'm just like, have a quick look at the news just to see if anything massive's happened, you know. But, you know, you're right. If it's going to be there, it's going to be on Facebook. But, you know, everyone handles it differently. For me personally, I don't get too protective about what I do or don't share online. But that being said, I kind of just like and follow everything. So I have a general kind of blanket of information coming in.
Do you use the Facebook reactions at all?
This is weird, right? So considering that we have a business which, from a marketing standpoint, holds value to likes and shares and views, I couldn't tell you the last time I've ever liked a status or like ever engaged with it ever.
Yes/no. You've liked that. Yes/no. Have you seen that page?
No.
As in, like, I'll like a page to follow a page.
I'll get on
but
it.
if someone posts a status, I never interact with it.
Yeah.
I might comment on it, but I'll never. Which is interesting because, you know, we look at our videos that we post and you look at how many likes it got. So people obviously are actively going like or dislike or whatever. I couldn't think of the last time I've done it. Ever.
So maybe this, because I have the same thing, right? I don't think I can remember the last time I ever posted a photo to my personal Facebook, posted a status of, hey, I'm in this town. I never check into anywhere. I've got no interest in it because I think I lost the fun of Facebook, or the hobby of using Facebook changed when it became a business for me.
Sure.
I'll use Snapchat and stuff like that for, you know, work and shit like that. But there's at no point do I use it for really any person. Maybe
Do you
like
feel
one or two
personally
mates.
connected to things you're doing on Facebook?
No, because I'm on it enough
No.
for work. I'm not going to fucking like to partake in the
It
shit
changes
of it
the way
all.
you look
And
at
it's
the
also now at the
platform,
point where anything that is remotely personal that's shared on Facebook is viewed as like, why are you sharing that on Facebook anyway? So it's like almost the whole platform is a contradiction within itself. It's like, this is a way to share and communicate with your friends.
Yeah.
But like, oh my God, you're posting your public life on social media. Why are you doing that?
Yeah, I saw someone today post something about them and their boyfriend were breaking up, and they felt like they need to announce it through an Instagram photo.
It's odd.
They're public figures, so fair enough. But at the same time,
It's weird. It's unnecessary behavior, I think.
Yeah.
I think there needs to be, well, for me, I've tried to make a clear distinction in line in my own head, because and I'm going to ask you about this in a sec. Do you feel personally connected to your page and what people say about you on your page? Because I've had to go, you know what, like, this is a character, this is a persona that I'm putting on here for what I do. But in my personal life, I don't, like, it's like I'm Hannah Montana. That's the best way I'm trying to, do you treat it like that? Like, do you have like this rock star lifestyle out here, and then you've got this life back at home where you're just doing your normal shit? And
I don't feel personally connected to, like, as in me, Matt. I don't believe Matt is necessarily MASHD and Kutcher as that. That's a separate entity. But that being said, also, like, I personally use my personal Facebook as a primary method of communication with a lot of different people.
do you use it mainly for Messenger?
Yeah, that's it.
That's
I mean,
it.
I
That's
wouldn't
all I
care
use.
if my feed didn't exist.
Me
I literally
too.
use Messenger.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I think a lot of people are getting to be like that.
Yeah, Facebook is becoming a... You know what the other thing Facebook's doing now? What they are now, like, Snapchat is known as a camera company, like, not a like a social media thing. Facebook now is a financial institution. So basically, people are you can send people money through Facebook and stuff like that, which means that they're basically becoming a PayPal. They're implanting their own PayPal inside of Facebook, so that money can sit in an account that we send through each other. And apparently, there's going to reach a point where Facebook, like our credit cards, will be everything. They want everything to be run through Facebook.
Give us your data. That's what we're doing.
What do you think of that? Because like one side of me, I can when people say that argument of, oh, well, you know, I've not got anything to hide, blah blah blah, and I can sort of understand that, but at the same time, it's the concept of just not having, like, you should be able to have sovereignty and
it's the
privacy.
concept of essentially a computer company knowing what you want before you say you want it.
Yeah,
which is kind of like, it's outrageous, really.
It's
a computer company, you know.
I love the little pixels in Google when you if you go on eBay and you're looking at shoes, and then you get back on Facebook and you see the shoe ad in the feed.
You know who's real bad with it? Gumtree. Gumtree have got some major cookies. I've been on there and like get on another page and it's just everything that I looked at, the exact things. I'm like,
things you've already purchased.
Cookies,
like the exact item is in the timeline. It's like, I literally just purchased that. Why are you showing me that?
Have you heard of, like, because Facebook does do this when you allow them access to your device, microphone and stuff like that. Like if you're on your phone now, and if you have an iPhone, you can literally just say, "Hey Siri," and it picks it up straight away. Which means it's got to be constantly like listening. It's
constantly listening.
Whether they say like it's only listening and for 10 seconds and then it deletes it and keeps recording for 10 seconds and. Doesn't matter. Your device is constantly fucking going.
Siri's always there.
I know it sounds simple, but I think with technology and the way that we've integrated it in our lives as a species, I think you need to accept what the fuck is going on and learn to, you know, behave and interact with it to the best of your advantage, really, and just kind of work your way through the cracks and get what you want out of things and not get played in the process.
Adapt or die.
Pretty much.
That's it. Like, so what?
And not overthink it too much, because I mean, I feel like it could get scary if you started. I did tell Mum and Dad about watching. There was a post that Zuckerberg did that people like made some noise about, where he put stickers over his camera and his microphone.
I'd seen that.
And,
yeah.
I was telling Mum and Dad about it jokingly, and then I went to FaceTime Mum, and I was like, I can't see it. She's like, oh yeah, we put stickers over the cameras.
Well, mate, look. The thing is, there's been leaked WikiLeaks documents, and these WikiLeaks, like, they are 100% authentic. Like, they have a 100% proven track record. That's their biggest claim to fame, right? And they've come out with documents saying that the CIA have been able to do that with Samsung smart TVs. Like, they know this shit. So if they want to do it to someone, I don't think they're doing it to everyone, but the technology and the capability of doing it is definitely.
We're landing people on Mars. We can watch people in their lounge room if we need to. Like,
so does that bug you when those planes go missing? Because I always go, get fucked.
Yeah,
I've got
it's
street view and I can see shit.
Well, this is the
They constantly see everything.
I'm literally tracking my Uber Eats to my front door, and you've lost an aeroplane.
You've lost an entire aeroplane.
That to me was the genius of Pokemon Go. Was just like, we've got Street View. How can we get cameras inside people's houses? And then,
well, that had come out that there was some dodgy stuff in that, but. If you look now at like Snapchat's just released that thing where you can track, like, you know.
Oh, isn't that creepy?
That's creepy, but that means that the CIA and those sorts of, like the NSA, they don't even need to do it anymore. We are so willing to give it up.
Yeah.
We'd rather give it up to a company.
Totally.
I'd rather give that information to the government before I gave it to some fucking... and I don't want to give it to anyone, but that's where we've got to. So now the CIA can just get that information from them if they want.
True.
And they don't even need to be the bad guys.
You don't even need to hack a phone. You just need to access a program. It's like, oh, yeah, that's his Snapchat last
funny old world
3
we live in,
years.
isn't it?
Yeah. You can't. You're not murdering anyone because they know exactly where you were.
Yeah.
They used to have to use the fucking cell tower, like which
Imagine
cell
trying to
tower
get away with murder today. That'd be a mission.
You wouldn't be able to do it.
Serious mission.
You would not be able to
Back
do it.
in the day, it was like, no body, no crime. That's it. Couldn't
Yeah,
find the
back
body.
when
Didn't happen.
Okay, this is getting creepy. This is getting
Sorry.
school shooterish in your robes.
Sorry.
If we're gonna go that direction, have you watched the OJ series on Netflix?
Oh my
No, I haven't.
Lord.
No.
Get in there.
Did you?
It is
what do you
honestly, it
think?
takes your breath away. The things like, I didn't follow the case until I watched the dramatisation on Netflix. it is honestly, it's mind blowing. Like,
it's interesting.
it's real. They made an absolute mockery of the Justice Department, and it's
OJ definitely did it. I'm 100%.
Oh, mate,
did it. He knows he did it.
That glove, mate.
if the gloves don't fit, you should have quit. You know, just don't forget.
So his
Stay woke.
his lawyer
Stay woke.
was stay woke. His lawyer was Kim Kardashian's
That's
dad.
right.
Yeah.
If OJ didn't move to the Bulls, which was the football team, and meet his then late wife that he, killed, then he
Allegedly.
never would have made friends with Rob, who would have been his lawyer, and the Kardashians never would have got their beginning.
Yeah.
So really, OJ is responsible for killing that poor woman and the boyfriend, and also he's responsible for the Kardashians.
Does that mean OJ is
existing.
responsible for Yeezys and also responsible for...
No,
like,
Kanye's on his own merit.
Kardashians, different.
No, I'm just thinking along the timeline.
I can't blame Kanye if that's his taste in a woman, you know what I mean? Like, if that's your thing, like, ugh, but, it's really Rob and OJ's fault that the Kardashians got going.
Tell us how you really feel.
Do you want to like, this is this is a conspiracy theory. There's no fact behind it, but I've heard that Chloe, one of the sisters, she's actually OJ's daughter. Because she's the one that looks the most different one. She's like the middle-aged one. And if you look at like the photos, like she definitely looks like she could be OJ's son. So apparently Chris had an affair with OJ. They were just having, that's how they knew each other. They were having like weird orgies and shit like that. Because Bruce was in the fucking courtroom. Yeah. Like if you have a look at the photos, Bruce is in the courtroom next to fucking Chris, his wife, while she's there with her fucking ex-husband who's defending OJ. Like, it's just there's something weird going on there. And obviously Bruce is...
I mean, the guy killed his
Caitlyn
missus.
now.
Like, it wouldn't surprise me if he also, did other weird shit. Like,
Yeah. Well, I suppose, there you go. You've played in LA quite a bit, yeah?
yeah,
Yeah.
interesting town.
Hollywood's an interesting place.
Interesting
yeah.
town.
It's funny.
Yeah.
LA is like, and I say this in a respectful way, there's a whole lot of... I guess it depends how you interact with the city while you're there, but there's a whole lot of like not much happening. Like there's lots of not much. It's
Lots of not much.
Yeah. It's a bit let down. Like there's not many clubs there.
No.
And they shut down. It's 10 till 2.
2 o'clock. Stricter than us.
Yeah, we complain about lockout.
No wonder
laws,
people
mate.
go to Melbourne.
Like,
It's better than LA.
We can't obviously speak from every angle, but like as a DJ, like give us a show in Texas, have a crowd that goes absolutely mental. Like that's awesome. But like LA is what it is, and I think we talked about it when we were on our last America run. It's a big learning curve, and the more we travel, the more we learn. And we've learned a lot about LA, we've learned a lot about New York, and each time we go back, we kind of see new things, experience new things, and these cities are what they are.
It's almost like a game, I feel. The entertainment industry, especially over there, when you first go, you think you know what you're doing, but you got no idea.
Totally.
And then the next time you go back, you go, I know a little more. Then, a few times later, you start to get to a point where you're like, right, now I'm in the thick of the hustle. And you sort of, now you've got like, you
Especially in
know
a
where you
country
want to
that
go.
big as well. Like it's huge. It's so
'Cause-
big.
and everyone thinks they're a fucking, like, you meet so many people that tell you that they're going to make the world out of you, and you go...
See, this is the funny thing. Like, for what we do as DJs, like, when we interact with, like, LA, so we use LA as a base to basically stay when we travel to other states in America to do shows. So we come in, we're there to do a job, we're DJs, we play the shows and we go. But obviously, there's thousands of people that live in LA, to in an effort to make it. It's really interesting because we can be completely remote and come from a relatively small place, but we can still come in, operate, do what we do, and eject.
Leave.
Whereas a lot of people have that.
But is
and
that
I find
because
this
of
too,
social media, though?
I mean, maybe, but I find this is really common everywhere. There's a lot of people, whether they're in Australia, in rural areas, in LA, wherever, people have this false perception that they need to be somewhere in order to do what they want to do. And there's this whole false thing. It's like people more often than not need to have that learn that it's not where you are from, it's where you're at.
Yeah.
Like it's...
And to me, it's another excuse.
Totally. And
Stop making excuses, and if you can do it.
Yeah.
We live in a world where you can get on a fucking plane and be in LA in 13
100%.
hours if need be. You can do it from Townsville if
And
you need to.
a lot of young
Absolutely.
guys who meet us at shows and say, we DJ in this town or whatever, like, I'm thinking about moving to Melbourne, I'm thinking about moving to Sydney or moving to LA. It's like, okay, but you don't really, like, move there if there's a thing for you to do there, but don't think you need to move there because that will
to attain it.
you know,
Yes.
yeah, it's just, you know,
Yeah.
and we're living proof of that, and a lot of people aren't, you know. It's being in somewhere like LA is an interesting experience for us because, like I said, we come in, we do our thing, and we eject, you know.
So there's a lot, like one thing I'm sure there's going to be a group of people that are watching this that want to be DJs or are DJs right now, and they're watching this out of interest to, you know, what you guys have to say about the whole industry. Where, like, obviously DJing is something where, you know, people normally have they rise up and they have like a peak moment, and then, you know, it seems to be not I wouldn't say short-lived. It's not short-lived because normally a lot of people go into producing and they go behind the scenes because they've partied, you know, they've made the fucking big dollars by touring, right? But, you know, for someone that's starting out, like, what do you tell them? I'm sure you get people ask you all the time,
100%.
but what do you say?
I like to think that we can give an interesting take on it based on our journey, which was that we started as instrument players and musicians before we were DJs. Like, if you look at DJing and essentially what it is, there's many different factors to it, but essentially a DJ is someone who is playing music, and it can be a mix of other people's and their own to an audience. So, you know, the biggest advice we always give is to invest the time into making your own music, because to be someone who plays other people's music is what it is. But if you can have the experience of making your own music, that's pretty cool. That's pretty rewarding. You know, so where a young guy out there might be aspiring to learn to DJ and, you know, pick up a pair of decks, you know, we'll encourage them to, you know, grab a keyboard or, you know, grab a guitar and actually, you know, grab an instrument. Because at the end of the day, the music that you're playing had to come from somewhere. You know, so if you can get, get your hands dirty and start learning how to make it, then that's definitely the best way to go.
Well, you guys are in the thick of it now, right? And have you found it since when you first started to now where you are now? Do you find the industry moving really, really fast? Because I know with social media, there's someone new that comes through every year that you're like, oh wow, now this is the next hot thing. This guy's going to be fucking huge and a little bit. Yeah. Does it move fast?
I think it changes all the time. I mean, look, I think that's the thing. Like the industry changes, trends come and go. Trends come and go in everything, in fashion, in music, in art. I think it's just a matter of
except politically.
Well,
no revolution there in the last fucking God knows how long, and we're all fucked now. Everyone wants a fashion revolution, but no one wants to fucking vote properly.
Oh, true, isn't it? Fashion, mate.
Sorry.
Look, I think it's a matter of observing that trends come and go in whatever field you're in. But I think just, you know, figure out where you're at and where you want to fit into that. If you want to be part of a trend that's coming and going, do that. If you go, hey, I want to go and make a weird niche type of music, then do it and stick with that, you know? I don't think the trends, I think it's good to be aware of the trends. I don't think they matter too much if you know what you want to do.
But what about making your own trends? Like, I remember hearing Flume for the first time and going, what the fuck is this? And then, like, he basically created a whole genre, almost. Like, do you guys see yourself going, like, because you showed me some of the stuff that you've got coming out, which sounds unique. Sounds like you guys are constantly looking for and evolving your sound that you have to stay, you know, constantly going, because you can't obviously just rely, like you said, trends are always changing.
I watched a really interesting interview the other day with DJs Axwell and Grosso from Swedish House Mafia. And they said something really cool, which was that if you are trying to catch a wave, by the time you try and catch it, you've already missed it. So at the end of the day, if you want to make a particular type of music, look at whatever's trending right now and just do the fucking opposite. Because at the end of the day, like, you know, that's...
How many people tried to jump on Melbourne Bounce and it was just late?
Everything. It's like, at the end of the day, like, music's got to go through certain channels, and you could be a young independent guy posting it on SoundCloud, or you could be an artist with a major record deal. But, you know, the labels and the radio and everything, they're going to be vibing what's hot now. So I think if in essence you're, like I said, if you're aware of that, but you just kind of figure out what you want to do and just do your own thing, it's either going to, like, the blunt fact of it is, it's either going to be good or it's not. And this is the thing too, like, a lot of guys ask us at shows and stuff, they'll say, how do I make a video go viral? Or, you know, how do I make something, you know, perform really well? And it's hard to say it sometimes, but the fact of it is, if it's good, it's going to be good. And if it's shit, it's going to be shit.
Yeah.
There's things you can do to make it better, but, You know, there's no secret recipe for
No.
making something good.
The people will decide, and
Yeah.
it's the only true decision that people really make is like, if
Exactly.
it gets viral, then it was good. But there's also been things that, you know, you would have done the same where you put a lot of effort into it. You go, this is awesome. People are going to love it.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't get that reaction. So it's almost like there's a little bit of luck there, but I think it has a lot to do with timing.
Yeah.
Like I heard someone say to me once, there's no such thing as luck. It's when opportunity meets,
Correct.
when preparation meets opportunity.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that has a lot to do with Facebook. Like you guys know how to edit now. You know when you see a trend coming, when you go, we could make this now, and we know like this could go super viral.
Sure.
Do you ever have those ideas and then put it out there and then it does go?
Right now, for example, Crash Bandicoot's just come out on PS4, right?
Yeah.
Now, we could film some footage of some Crash Bandicoot gameplay. We could cut it up. We can make a track with it right now. Maybe by the time this podcast goes to air, we may well have even done it. Point being, we could take something like that as a trend and then make a video on it knowing that that's going to do well. But then you have to make the decision, like, is that something you really want to do or not, you know?
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, people love to consume free shit, you know. It's something that might go for 3 minutes, that video. They take it and leave it. Do you ever think you're only as good as your last
100%.
video? Like, that's all people remember of you is not the really good video you did 3 years ago that you're proud of. They only remember you from what you've done most recently.
Yeah.
In Facebook land, definitely.
Yeah, Facebook land.
I think that's one of the, you know, the ultimate holy grail of the music world is to write a song that's timeless. You know, write a song that people will love forever. Because if you haven't managed to do that, then I guess you're probably only going to be as good as what your last song is. You know.
Do you want to get to that point? Are you
every musician
cutting
does,
away to go, right, we know we can start to chill out once we've done our one song that's become...
I don't know about chilling out, but like...
Yeah.
Or, you know, not be able
You're
to
right,
go-
Wonderwall. You tend to feel a little bit better about where you're heading,
That's what I mean. Just go, right, we can take a seat back now and
Yeah.
maybe weigh out our options a bit more because we've got a massive... Like, you know, there's actors that have done massive films and now they're so selective, like Tom Cruise and that.
Yeah.
They can sit around and go, you know, I did Jerry Maguire fucking 4,000 years ago. But now, because of that, I'm able to sit back and go, no, I'm not going to release that because I don't need to.
But I did hear that The Mummy was shit.
The Mummy was shit.
There you go. See?
And it was full of weird Scientology stuff. Like it
dear.
had some. I've got obsessive over Scientology, and I've learned like basically what it is.
Is that a Tom injection?
Yeah, is that like how's that working?
So the Mummy's all about basically this idea, which Scientologists believe that we are eternal, that we live forever, right? So to get Tom to do that movie, there would have been some sort of fucking weird behind the scenes trade off, allegedly. I reckon. So they basically feel this is Scientology. I want to get your thoughts on this. L. Ron Hubbard, the guy that wrote it, who just happens also to hold the world record for the most fiction books ever written before, like he just smashed out books. Wrote a book called Dianetics, which was sort of like, I mean, it's pseudoscience, but a lot of people say that probably about spirituality and shit like that as well. But it was a sort of kind of science, but not really, where he said that our souls were from another planet and it was a prison planet. We were the bad people. And what that planet did was send us off to Earth and put us in the volcanoes. And then the volcanoes erupted and our souls left the volcanoes and went into these human bodies. And now our bodies have all these other demon souls attached to us. And through Scientology, we can get rid of these demon things that are attached to us, which might be our anxiety or our different things. And we become like clear. We reach eternal happiness because the demons are all... That's what they believe.
No.
Like, what's your instant thought on that? That's what Tom Cruise, a very smart actor, businessman, and everything, actually believes that.
I'm not
I
gonna-
watched. Yeah, I watched. You watched it as well, didn't you? Oh, mate.
We've watched the
Louis.
Yeah, we've watched
Louis
the
Theroux.
We watched Louis Theroux's Scientology,
Massive
which was
fan of
very,
Louis.
very
We're
good.
big
I'm not going to
massive fan.
comment on it only just because I don't feel informed enough, and I'm willing to get informed, but I don't know enough about
I
it.
just
so.
don't think that we came from.
What do you
an
think
alien
about
planet.
religion in general?
I
you
think,
religious
I
people?
think if it helps you, or if it helps your family, or it helps you be better, or it helps you do good things.
Yep.
All the power to you. Believe in whoever or whatever you want.
Yep.
But overall, I think it does tend to do more bad than good, or at least the world notices the
Yeah.
bad that is done as opposed to the good. You know.
Yeah.
And also because good things can be done without being associated with religion, whereas a lot of bad things are done that are absolutely associated with.
Also, not necessarily specifically religion, but I feel like as a species, we are very, very good at dividing ourselves. And I feel like that's a contributing factor to it.
I think it's getting worse. I think in the last 5 years at least, we've just splintered. So it's you know, black versus white again. It's all these races. We hate Muslims. We hate all these. It's a splinter on every single thing. There's a group for every single minority now. That is sort of goes back to that divide and conquer thing. If you can break everyone up and weaken everyone and put them in small little categories, then they're going to be easier.
Now we have a common enemy. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Even bigger jaws.
I mean, from my personal experience, I grew up going to all boys schools and like Catholic primary school and a Catholic secondary school.
Yep.
I don't think I ever made a clear point of saying I'm now going to not be interested in religion. I think it just kind of was there, and then I, with all due respect to people that follow a particular religion, I just kind of went about the rest of my day-to-day things. And I didn't make a clear defined point saying I'm not going to believe in that now. I just kind of
just went about life without it and turned out okay.
I'm exactly the same. I never like made a thing where I went, I'm atheist. Maybe I've said it once or twice before, but I've never like identified myself as that. I appreciate it. I appreciate religion as mythology, like Greek gods and anything else. Like they're just story tales that do tell a story of moral and whatnot. But there's got to be something. I don't think it's a god in a white robe and he had a son named Jesus running around.
Probably not.
But there's got to be some sort of weird, intelligent, something that's caused a big bang or something like that. How far back can we go until we...
How far back can we go?
Until we know.
I'm
That's
of
the
the
question.
hope that it's probably not going to be within our lifetime, but I'm of the hope some other being will land itself on our planet and probably tell us how.
Yeah, it'll just land and be like,
What if
all
they're
right,
already here?
gig is up.
Clear
We
this
did
up."
this. Like, we are 100%. All this God stuff you've been talking about, that's us.
We've been watching.
That's us.
and,
We put you here.
You know,
Like, that's it. You're going to do as we say from now on. So
I've heard there's people out there that genuinely believe that, and they believe that the races come from different types of alien species that we all originally generate back to. Where do Asians come from? Where do we come? Like where?
until one rocks up here on their ship where everyone can see in plain sight, there's no smoke and mirrors, and says, "G'day, I'm from planet whatever."
G'day.
P.S.
Or you dumb cunts.
P.S.
Yeah.
I'm also Aussie, by the way.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And he rocks up with his VB in his hand and goes, "Look, so you know, just FYI, this is kind of how it went down." And then, well, everyone's going to be like, "Oh, well,
Oh my God.
I guess you're right." Like,
Here's one. Jared Wright from the Big Les Show. He said, if it was an Aussie alien, it'd be an Australian. Australian,
Okay.
get it?
You know, he's not wrong.
Or what do you call it? Australians, or something
Australians.
like that. Anyway,
Yeah, makes sense.
geez, I don't
Did you
know
watch
how
The Arrival, which was about
I did
aliens?
watch that movie.
Very interesting.
Different take on aliens as well, because they
Yes,
normally go
different take.
the greys.
No
those
destruction,
ET.
no damage, no haunting.
and they were weird, like
no
fucking,
blood.
What were they? They looked like
Well, they were
squiddy looking things.
Yeah, but they could also manipulate, air, essentially. Wasn't that how they
Yeah.
spoke?
Language, yeah.
The language? And that was the gift.
I went and
His
saw that
language.
really cooked.
Same, actually. Well,
You had a lot of good food, Nando's.
Yeah.
Heavy cooked food, but I was high as shit. It was good. It was great to watch it like that. Do you go to the movies much?
when you can.
Yeah, here and there.
When was the last movie?
Gold
you went to?
class on a Tuesday
Gold
is only
class,
$25. It's cheaper on a Tuesday.
Well, I'll
It's
put
good
it
to be
out
able
there.
to eat and sit. You sit there like this. You got a plate. And you're just eating like salt and pepper calamari. You got a beer.
Yeah.
To be
You
clear,
got a
there's
button. You got a button. And the waiter
like
can
Trump.
come give you more.
There's
Like,
no part of us which is at all saying, this is straight up, no part of us is saying, hey, we're rock stars, so we go gold class.
I said Tuesday for
No,
a
no,
reason.
no. But I
But
strongly,
spend the money.
I urge everyone who goes to a cinema to just make the effort to
Try it.
maybe just go to gold class.
Do it once.
I
So
don't
you
see
really
how
cool.
you can do
treat
it any
yourself.
other way. Like,
No, it's pretty cool.
I couldn't not go to gold class.
I don't think it's absolutely worth the money.
No.
How
but
much is it? Can I ask?
Oh, it's,
I think it's $25 on a Tuesday, and then
It's
it's
at
like
least double.
60, isn't it?
yeah.
It's like $60 a ticket or something.
It's
But you go in, it's separate from the cinemas. There's like a bar. You sit down, you have a drink, and then you go in, and the chairs are like double the size of this with a table in the middle. They bring you drinks, they bring you food.
Is it like a bed?
Well, I mean,
I'd sleep
it's
there.
got the two. It's got you adjust the back and the feet. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
It's definitely better than some hotel beds we've had.
Oh yeah, way better. Way better than some hotel beds.
where's the shit? I suppose I can't.
I'll tell you the shittest place we've stayed. I'll tell you hands down.
Okay, shittest place you've played.
So, were we saying shittest place we played or stayed?
Playing's a little more touchy. Staying you can be more.
stayed.
Yeah.
Staying you can be more abrupt about.
No, well, we played a gig in New South Wales, and the lovely gentleman who booked us at the gig, top bloke, booked us in this. But he's actually top bloke. But he booked us in this accom, which the room, I believe it had a sink, but it didn't have a toilet.
It was basically top floor pub motel type thing, where you pay for your room, but then there's a communal like bath shower.
I've stayed in
thing.
them a few times.
So Matt had
It's
like
part of
a
the
sink
guarantee.
with a mirror next to his bed, and like there was no toilet.
But
no bath.
Rexy, we love you though. He's all right.
Yeah.
But
I'll call him
okay,
that.
I stayed in this one place. I did a show in Tamworth, and the guy as well. The guy that did it, he was a good guy, but we stayed in his pub hotel upstairs, and there was a few of us boys. I bought mates and that, and we went up, got there, got in the beds, and woke up in the morning, and it was fucking haunted as shit. Look at the sheets, and it said New South Wales hospitals or health on there. And I'm like, holy shit, these are like old hospital sheets, like.
Can I just be real? Like I've wanted to ask the question for us. I'd love to just quickly flip.
Yeah. Okay. Go. Let's flip it.
Can you please tell us the background and history of your relationship with the expression "cunny cunt"
Cunt.
and all said.
So cunt just came from. I remember being at school, and I used to like even in primary school around my mates, thinking from a young age, no one really swore. So I would tell jokes, and I might say "fucking this" or "fucking that" in it, and that's just where it came from. Out of it's a bit rebellious and a bit crude. And then when I started doing stand-up comedy, I was maybe like 14. I'd go to pubs, and I was doing jokes that like were fucking childish shit. No one would listen at the pubs. It was just old alcoholics. So I started to go, well, I've got to speak like them. So I started to use the word cunt a little bit more. And my mum would sit there just like fucking disgraced. But because I was begging her I wanted to do this comedy thing, she'd take me. So cunt came along. And then everyone was using it anyway. Like that's just the way that we describe.
And at some point there was an evolution from cunt to cunny.
Cunny came about just through me and Miles, really.
Okay.
We were just like talking, and we'd go, "We cunny," like just because what it meant was basically the character's name when I'm doing the real bogan stuff.
Yeah.
Sorry, fucking. When I'm doing the real bogan stuff, is his character he's a cheeky cunt. Yeah. So I get away, the character gets away with saying quite outlandish things because he might put a bit of a smile on or look at the camera in a certain way. Yeah. You know I'm taking the piss. It's not genuine. I'm never trying to actually be mean to someone. No. He's being a fuckwit. He's just that guy that that's just a dickhead. So that's where cunny came from. A lot of people thought it meant funny cunt.
Makes sense.
Yeah, that's what. But cheeky, cheeky cunt. That's what it worked. But now I'm sort of moving away from that because it was like I thought. Bogan humour's been done to death. I've had my run with it, and it's worked out okay. I've been able to build a foundation to start moving into. I want to get a talk show one day. I love talking shit. I love getting cooked and having deep conversations. So this is where I want to go with it. Nice. Where do you guys see yourself in 5 years' time? Where's MASHD and Kutcher?
MASHD and Kutcher or us? Or both?
Both. Yeah, I'd really love to hear both. Where would you like to see you guys? And what would you like to be doing yourself?
We'd both like to see the brand as successful as it can be, and on a as big a scale as it can be worldwide, so we can make music and share it with a lot of people.
Is there like a festival or something that you haven't done yet that you want to do? Like, what's the next sort of thing on the bucket list?
I think I can speak for both of us that the inner muso and us would both very much like to play Glastonbury or Coachella. Yeah. I think that would be the, it will be amazing to play festivals like Tomorrowland, whatnot. But I think on a personal note, the ultimate goal would have to be Glastonbury or Coachella.
Coachella would be pretty lit.
That would be.
Yeah.
That'd be a big day.
There's just so
Pretty
much
sweet.
history in those festivals. Of,
Yeah.
You know, anyone who's made their mark in the world of music has played those.
Mate, they have a lot of Aussies there. Whenever I look at that lineup, I go, wow, like there's actually some really fucking good
We're
talent
doing well,
in this
old
country.
Australia, with our exports. We're
We've
doing
got
well.
21 million people, 22 million people. Like we've got nothing. California is the same size as this whole country.
It's amazing, eh?
I
And
think
we're producing a lot of like good talent.
in music world, in acting world, I think there's more Aussies killing it than ever. It's really good.
You know Chris Hemsworth?
The
mate.
brothers, there's
brothers,
a fucking
right?
family.
Old mate lives in Byron Bay. He literally cruises over to Hollywood, busts out multi-million-dollar film, kicks off for 6 months, comes home and chills out in Byron Bay. That's unreal. That's a true Australian.
Yeah,
honestly.
that is, eh? We saw Russell Crowe now, that guy. We saw him at the Mummy premiere, right?
Yeah.
And he just looks like he'd been drinking a bit of piss recently.
Yeah.
You could tell, like, he's just sort of not let go of himself, but he's done.
He's relaxed.
He won a fucking Oscar. He did The Gladiator. He's done all these movies. Now he's just like, if he gets a call from Sydney, he owns a footy team now. He gets a call from Sydney like, oi, Tom Cruise wants you to do a movie with him. We go, right, how much? 5 million, whatever. All right. How long is it going to take? 3 months. Great. I'll be over there. Does his thing. He rocked up to this premiere just like fucking in his normal clothes. Like Tom Cruise is all dressed up like the little fucking
Whatever
fuckwit that he is.
Yeah, whatever he is. He's a
little
little
fucking
too.
volcano
He is
boy.
If anyone was wondering, big fan.
He's come straight from the volcano. Straight from the volcano onto the red carpet.
Yeah, straight out of the volcano and smack bang on the red carpet. You know, Tom Cruise is apparently, his title in Scientology is supposed to be head of marketing.
Oh. I mean,
He's
that
the
explains
top
a
guy.
lot, doesn't it?
He has,
I would
he
say
has, like,
if anybody has marketed Scientology well, it's probably Tom Cruise.
the best. Do you know the chick that does the voice of Bart Simpson is a Scientologist?
I do know that,
Really?
yeah. Oh,
And
yeah,
she got
Nancy.
caught. There's leaked footage on YouTube of her calling up, like cold calling people, doing the voice of Bart Simpson, then going, "Oh no, it's me, so and so from thing,"
That's
and
hectic.
trying to sell people Scientology. Give me a
Would
call
you-
back if you're
Would
interested.
you buy something if Bart Simpson told you to over the phone?
Not fucking
I don't know.
cult.
I mean, I'm
I
all
don't
about
know.
advertising, but I mean, I'm going to go on a limb here and say if something's good, you probably don't need it to sell it to people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially Bart Simpson.
Yeah, I mean, he's an untrustworthy character as it is, isn't it? You know?
I don't know, who would you trust, Homer or Bart? If you're getting sold,
If you're
like-
trying to, if someone's selling you something,
Someone's
I reckon
Scientology.
Homer, because like Homer can't beat around the bush, like he sucks. You know what I
Yeah.
mean, he's an idiot.
he'd tell the truth.
Whereas like Bart could really scheme you. I feel.
I forgot which stand-up comic it was that said it, but I distinctly remember the summary being the difference between a cult and a religion, and the difference being that the leader of a cult is somebody who sends a certain message to a group of people, and the leader of the religion is the same thing, but they're dead.
But they're dead.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That was the
distinct
only,
difference.
Yeah.
difference.
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
That's wonderful.
we haven't
for me
seen
to take
anybody
away
turn
with.
water to wine in quite a while. God, that'd
No.
be sick though. You imagine being able to do that?
Oh yeah, mate.
Imagine.
Probably
Well,
it's
it
probably
is.
what is happening. That's why Australia's in
You
drought. We
imagine
produce the
rocking
best
up.
wine in the world.
All the boys are like, shit, we got to go to the bottle. You're like, nah, mate, just pass me that Mount Franklin. Give it right.
Give it here. Let me just hover my head. Chris Angel could do it.
Wouldn't that be nice? Love to turn water to wine.
What do you think of those David Blaine's? We'll wrap it up in a second.
David Blaine's interesting.
Like, have you seen him put the nail through his hand like that?
Yeah,
Shit's-
he
I think it's
what-
entertainment. I think it's
I
cool.
think
Was
he's
it
he's very
real?
good at what he does.
Is it
There's no
real?
doubt.
What is it? Is that magic? Does magic actually exist?
Alright.
Nah, not with him.
Is it an illusion?
Nah, to me, he's like a perfectionist. You know, you can tell like he's very disciplined. Like the breath holding thing, like
Yeah, that'd take
you know,
a lot of
human beings can do that.
that.
You just got to be trained to
Personally,
do
for
it.
me, there's a lot of magicians and illusionists, but I really respect the artistry and the showmanship of Penn and Teller. I really can't go past them.
I think they're great, aren't
Those
they?
two are just like
It's
everything
sort of,
about them. And,
it's
you
got
know,
like this old comedic feel to it, where like
Yeah.
you know I forget their names and I should totally
like
know
Laurel
them.
and Hardy kind of thing.
Yeah, that sort of stuff, and I appreciate they've got
Costello
something for
thing.
the older audience,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's still fun for everyone.
Totally.
Very smart, and I suppose that's sort of like a nice way to sort of wrap it up. That's sort of what you guys are doing right now. Like you are making stuff for such a wide group of people, and it's extremely smart what you're doing, and it's clearly why. And I just want to ask this: do you find, like, because you've had quite fast success and it's big success what you've done, like there's other DJs out there that you probably were friends with or admired, and then you've gone, fuck, we've even shot past that, like, fuck, this trajectory is crazy. Do you feel like the industry at all is negative, or have you had a good time in it? Are you happy with it, or is it different to what you thought it was? Like, where are you with it?
I think everything is different to what you think it is before you get deeply involved with it.
Yep.
Just like everything becomes work after you do it enough at some points. I think overall the industry is not negative. I like to think that music is a very positive thing, and therefore people who are involved with it overall are generally positive, just happy people because we all like music. But yeah, I think you get out what you put in, you know, each individual within the industry, and we're no exception to that.
Yeah, I guess so. So you don't find like that. Is there, obviously there'd be like competitive, there'd be friendly competition, but does it ever get to a level where there's people out there that I suppose there is in every industry where there's people that are real negative and jealous, and
we're all humans, and we all
same with nightclub promoters, I guess.
There's people that are successful, there's people that aren't, there's people that are fucking idiots, there's people that are legends. It doesn't really matter what you do, you know. I think we are very grateful, and we're very fortunate in that we are able to essentially make a decent living doing something that we actually enjoy.
Yep.
So that makes everything worth it, you know.
All right. And to wrap it up on this one, I know I said that before, but to wrap it on this one, what is your mind frame for success? Just like as short as you can make it. What if someone asks you that right now, a young DJ wants to be where you're at now? What is it hard work? Like what has been the ultimate lesson that you've learned from this now that you go, mate, focus on this one ideology and run with it?
Internally and externally, the biggest thing that I think I've learned, and I am still learning, is that it's this much about talent, and it's that much about how much you grind and how much you actually do it. Because there's people out there who are super talented, but they may never leave their bedroom, or they may never do what it is they want. But yeah, like Adam said, it's what you put in. And you know, there's people out there who aren't as talented, but they work really fucking hard. So
and they can do it. Yeah. All right, boys. Thanks for fucking. It was a good chat. I appreciate you've got your mates here, and you know you've taken the time out to spend an hour with me at your hotel.
Of course.
I really do appreciate it. So thanks for coming along. Your social media links will be in the bottom. You won't gain anything from me, but that's the thought that counts. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having us.
We'll see you next time.